Today on Public Eye News, Democrats are seeking control of the seized Michigan House. And later, chemical giant Bayer is seeking protections from lawmakers as it navigates billions in legal battles.
Austin Graham will have your weather forecast for the next couple of days and later today's sports update. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Liam Euland-Joy, and this is Public Eye News. Two special elections today will decide the majority in the Michigan House of Representatives. Democrats controlled the House until last November, when two of their representatives won mayoral races in their hometowns. Now the party seeks to win back a majority in the chamber. Democrats My Song and Peter Hertzberg are facing Republican challengers in Districts 13 and 25, respectively. Both districts are located just outside Detroit and lean heavily toward the Democratic Party. The heads of the major state parties have different outlooks on these elections. State GOP Chair Pat Hoekstra is just satisfied to have forced Democrats into spending more money on campaigning. Meanwhile, Michigan Democratic Party Chair Lavora Barnes said these special elections will set the tone for November. And Governor Gretchen Whitmer announced today that the Michigan Department of Transportation will begin road and bridge repair projects in 12 counties starting this week. Here in the Upper Peninsula, Mackinac County has received an investment of $2 million. Three bridges will also be repaired, including one at the M123 overpass and I-75. Another bridge on I-75 at Carp River will be repaired, as well as an M134 bridge over Pine River. Governor Whitmer said by the end of the construction season, the state will have repaired 23,000 lane miles of roads and more than 1,600 bridges. U.S. Congressman Dan Kildee attributed the project's success to new laws like the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill of 2021. He said this legislation is putting Michiganders to work rebuilding roads, bridges, and water systems. Based on economic modeling, these newest investments are expected to support 3,617 jobs.
Attorneys in Wisconsin are asking the Supreme Court to strike down Governor Tony Evers' use of partial veto for the new funding increase for schools in the next 400 years. Evers originally applied for the $325 increase for the 2023-24 and 2024-25 years of school. Now he has removed the 20 and the hyphen to make the end date 24-25. While both Republicans and Democrats can use this partial veto power, Evers exceeded his veto authority and his action was unconstitutional. Evers' veto was said to be the Vanna White of striking individual letters to make new words. The lawsuit asked the court to strike down Evers' partial veto as it forbids the governor from striking down digits to create a new year or to remove language creating a longer duration than what was approved. The Wisconsin Senate voted in September to override the veto, but the Assembly did not take it up and must get more support from Democrats to get the vote. And just a month away, EGLE will be hosting the 2024 Michigan Healthy Climate Conference. More than 600 attendees will be attending this event on May 16th through the 17th. The Michigan Healthy Climate Conference plan focuses on actions and spur economic development. The plan also will create good-paying jobs, lower energy and transportation costs for working families and businesses. The theme this year for the conference is Accelerating Action. The conference will also include time for inspiring plenary talks, breakout sessions, interactive working sessions, and networking opportunities. Attendees will also get to hear from 60 thought leaders and experts on clean industry, building decarbonization, climate justice, and more. This conference is part of the Great Lakes Green Events, where they will work with EGLE to promote and implement sustainable practices and eliminate single-use plastics. And 19 Minnesota communities have detected elevated levels of forever chemicals in their water. Local and state governments have begun to address the issue. Caroline Cummings has more. Take a look.
No amount of PFAS is safe when you turn on the tap, but many Minnesota communities exceed a new threshold set by the EPA last week.
Hastings' entire water supply has been compromised, which means all 23,000 of our people are feeling unsafe for drinking their water.
Hastings is among them. Local officials there on Monday testified in the Minnesota House, asking lawmakers to include their request in an infrastructure package under consideration at the Capitol this year so they can clean up their water.
We've all know that we've exceeded our federal law, and we would appreciate any assistance you can give.
The price tag in Hastings alone, nearly $69 million, underscoring just how expensive the PFAS problem really is. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency estimates that statewide, removing and destroying the chemicals could cost anywhere from $12 billion to $25 billion.
You know, this is one of the most sobering presentations I've heard here.
And consumers could continue to pay big time if these communities don't get a boost. In Hastings, local leaders called a cleanup a budget buster for water rates.
There's a 250% increase over the next 10 years, placing Hastings water rates atop the metro and among the highest in greater Minnesota.
The cities of Woodbury and Sauk Rapids are also seeking help from the legislature to shore up funds to treat their water too. And last year, the Minnesota legislature banned PFAS in most consumer products beginning next year. At the Capitol, Carolyn Cummings, WCCO News.
Now don't touch that dial, because we'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break. Stay tuned.
Subtle rises in sea level.
These events are climate change.
Let's figure it out.
It's science and it's conservation.
We're at a period of remaking the world.
We can change the earth.
We're doing this for the future. If we don't, what then?
Welcome back. I'm Austin Graham, and this is your Public Eye weather update. Now let's take a look outside here on campus. Looks like a pretty nice day. See some people walking around out here. Now taking a look across the UP up in Houghton, it is 51 and partly cloudy. All the way over in Ironwood, 58 and sunny. Down in Iron Mountain, 57 and partly cloudy. Way down in Menominee, 45 and sunny. Now if we take a look on the other side of the UP here, in Escanaba, it is 52 and partly cloudy. All the way over in Manistee, it is sunny. Up in Sault Ste. Marie, 55. Sun's poking out a little bit out there. And back here in our beloved Marquette, it is 44 and sunny. Now taking a look at our conditions, taking a closer look, I should say, the winds are coming out of the east at 13 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is 30.20 inches and falling. Now looking to tonight, it'll be rainy with a low of 40. The winds coming out of the east-southeast at 16 miles an hour. And tomorrow, those rain showers are going to continue with a high of 46 and a low of 39, with the winds coming out of the east-southeast at 16 miles an hour. Now taking a look at the next few days here, it's going to be partly cloudy for these next few days, with Thursday having a high of 54 and a low of 36. Friday, a high of 45 and a low of 33. And on Saturday, a high of 43 and a low of 33. That's all I have for the weather. Back to our desk for some more news.
Well, thank you very much for that weather update, Austin. And now it's time for your national news. Chemical giant Bayer has been embroiled for months in a legal battle, which now enters a new chapter. The struggle originates in claims that they failed to warn customers about the risk of cancer associated with popular weed killer Roundup. Now Bayer is taking the fight to a new venue in an effort to defend itself, the legislative branch. Bills have been introduced in several state legislatures this year which would protect pesticide companies from claims they failed to warn that their product causes cancer if their labels otherwise complied with EPA regulations. But legal experts warn the laws could have broader implications. One fear is that they could bring immunity from lawsuits of any kind. Bayer's legal team has disputed this, however. The bill was narrowly defeated by the Republican-led Idaho legislature, but this debate is likely to rage on for the foreseeable future. And according to new federal regulations, workers are entitled to time off and other job accommodations for abortions, along with pregnancy-related medical conditions like miscarriage, stillbirth, and lactation under the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. The language means that workers can ask for more time off to obtain an abortion and recover from the procedure. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission finalized the rules. They say their decision to keep abortion-related language, despite criticism from some conservatives, is consistent with its long-standing interpretation of Title VII, as well as court rulings. The new rules clarify in great detail the types of accommodations a pregnant worker can request. These include temporary exemption from job duties like heavy lifting and accommodations for morning sickness. And the pilots' union at American Airlines reports a significant spike in safety and maintenance-related problems at the carrier, and it's telling pilots to be vigilant. The union's concerns are spelled out in a memo obtained by CBS News. Chris Van Cleve has more. Take a look.
An American Airlines 777 being pushed back from the gate in Miami essentially was backed into another plane last month, a type of incident among a host of concerns Americans Pilots Union brought to company executives.
We're seeing the walls of the safety margin get squeezed in.
Union spokesman Captain Dennis Tazier.
So we're telling our pilots, slow down, take your time, and watch for these potential errors because they're starting to increase across the system.
In a memo to its 16,000 pilots, the union listed a series of problematic trends, including tools left in wheel wells, like this hammer. The Allied Pilots Association says it was found last month before a flight left Phoenix for Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The union says maintenance discovered other tools inside the wheel well and noted there were no open maintenance actions at the time of discovery. Also of concern, APA says, an increasing number of collisions between aircraft being tugged or towed and pressure to return aircraft to service.
If these allegations are true, then they certainly need to be investigated and resolved.
The memo comes as competitor United is undergoing an FAA audit after a series of concerning incidents this year. In a statement, American says our robust safety program is guided by our industry-leading safety management system. It includes a multitude of collaborative programs and regular touch points with the FAA and all of our unions to further bolster our strong safety record. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News in Las Vegas.
And we'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
Putting questions to those in power.
We're in the fourth wave. There aren't enough tests. Is it time for a new approach?
Providing insight into big issues.
The speech in many ways sets the foundation for Democrats as they renew their push for voting rights.
Focusing on underreported issues.
What are these girls missing while their mothers are in prison that you're trying to help them get?
Weeknights on your PBS station and online.
Monday through Friday at 7 p.m.
Welcome back. I'm Austin Graham, and this is your Public Eye Sports Report. Starting off on the ice, the Detroit Red Wings took down the Montreal Canadiens 5-4 in an OT thriller. After being down 4-2 in the second period, goals from Alex DeBrincat and Lucas Raymond late in the third forced overtime. Now in overtime, Raymond scored the game winner off an assist from Dylan Larkin to keep the Wings' playoff hopes alive. In order for the Wings to clinch the last wildcard spot, they will need to beat the Canadiens tonight in any fashion. Detroit also needs the Capitals to lose to the Philadelphia Flyers in any way possible. Puck drop is set in Montreal for 7 p.m. Bouncing over to the basketball world, the WNBA draft has come and gone. With the first overall pick in the draft, the Indiana Fever selected Iowa guard Caitlin Clark. Clark gained widespread popularity during her career at Iowa, where she broke multiple records, including the NCAA all-time scoring record. When Clark announced she would be turning pro back in February, almost 17,000 tickets were sold to watch the draft at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, home of the Indiana Fever. Other names drafted this year were Angel Reese and Cameron Brink, who both went to Chicago and Los Angeles, respectively. Clark and the Fever will be in action on May 14th, the date of WNBA opening night. Ending things on the baseball field, the Detroit Tigers dropped Game 1 of their 4-game series against the Texas Rangers. Michael Lorenzen was the key component to getting the shutout W for Texas as he pitched 5 perfect innings to keep the Tigers' bats quiet. Texas took the lead in the 5th inning after loading the bases thanks to Jonah Heim's double. Heim then scored a run off of Marcus Semion's ground ball, lifting the Rangers over the Tigers 1-0. The loss bumps Detroit's record to 9-7 overall and 3-5 at home. The Tigers look to bounce back and tie up the series today when they host the Rangers once more in the Motor City. That's all I have for sports. Back to the desk.
Well, thanks so much for that sports update, Austin. Now, Bianca, I heard you've got an extra story for us.
I do. Tonight at 7:30 p.m., in Regina Recital Hall, the Open Minds Ensemble will perform their improv music in direction of Patrick Booth. The Open Mind Ensemble is a fully improvised creative orchestra that provides students and audiences with unique, experimental, and non-traditional performances featuring collaborations with visual artists, performance artists, and poets. The ensemble is different every semester, with taking on a new appearance each time, with this year working on John Zorn's composition Cobra. This piece will include hand signs, cues, and game pieces like the big musical game of Mafia. The audience members are also encouraged to be part of the performance. This event is free to attend.
Well, that's all the time we have left today at Public Eye News. I'm Liam Eulenjoy.
I'm Bianca Kroll.
And we'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.